Okay, I believe it is the right time to start today's webinar. So, quick info first. I'm Marcel, the co-host for today, and feel free to write anything to our chat. I will be monitoring it today. So, I would like to welcome everyone to our webinar number 2. Our today's lesson is overview of Hubleto main features. And on today's agenda, we'll be having these 5 interesting points. First of all, let's dive deep into the Hubleto. We will have a comprehensive preview of all major Hubleto features, what it is, how to work with it, and some other ideas. Also, good interesting point is the dev hosting. We will be talking about about this new and interesting feature for all the developers to use. And also, our experts will have some interesting points about Hubleto and dev hosting as well. And last but not least, also we will having a lengthy Q&A session, so we'll be able to talk and discuss all the things that you would like to ask us. Also, but I would like to point out that if you have any questions or notes, feel free to write them to the chat. As I will be checking the chat regularly, and if anything interesting will pop up and will be coming to in the Q&A session, I will be churning through all the questions and we will give you answers. And last but not least, also, this is not the final webinar, so we'll be discussing what to do next and we'll be previewing future webinars and other important information. As I mentioned, I'm not the only one speaking today. Our co-hosts are Dusan Danishka and Erik Haniel. Dusan is a long-time expert with the CRM and ERPA frameworks. He was working with the Hubleto and the other similar frameworks for more than 12 years, so it's a lot of experience. And Erik is our new hotshot Hubleto young expert focusing on custom development that is working on Hubleto for the second year right now. But let's hear from them directly. So, speakers, let's engage. Dusan, I believe you are the first to start, so it's yours now.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Marcel. So I will be sharing my screen. Wait a second, please. It should be this window here. Can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, hello everybody. Well, maybe just a second. I will just move the screen to my other monitor because I want to have my eyes the same direction as my web camera is. So once again, going to share my presentation again. Can you see that?
Yes, we still see it. But feel free to enlarge the view so we can see just the presentation only.
I think you should see only the presentation.
Yes, we can see it right now.
Okay, great. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the lesson number 2 of the Hubleto Developer Academy, which is the series of webinars where we want to speak about how to develop and create CRM or ERP or shortly business applications to digitalize or automate any kind of business. Today in this lesson, just maybe for a recapitulation, in the previous lesson we were learning about how to download and install Hubleto, and we have seen that it is very easy, as well as creating your first application is very easy. So you can see the 3 basic commands to do the job. In the command line, you can see that on the left side of the screen. So it's composer create project, then PHP Hubleto init and PHP Hubleto app create. So you can see that it is very easy. We have shown this in the previous lesson, and today we will be talking and presenting some other topics to dive more deeply into the development. But still, it will be a sort of only a brief overview because the topics to be covered, there are so much topics. So today we will only be briefly presenting the major topics, and all of them will be in detail presented at the next webinars and the next lessons. So today we are going to talk about development fundamentals. We will talk a bit about what is the app, what is the Hubleto app, and how the app manager looks like and what it does. And then lastly, about something what we call Hubleto development ecosystem, where we have quite new and unique infrastructure we call dev hosting. I will be introducing this as well. So the development fundamentals, just to keep the focus, we are talking about the business applications, about the apps that are providing any kind of functionality, doesn't matter what kind of functionality, but the goal is to streamline the processes or workflows, or automate these workflows or digitalize them in any company, basically in the small or medium enterprise. And these types of applications are well recognized, or most often they are called the CRM or ERP, or these abbreviations are used. But for our case, for the sake of these presentations and these lessons, we actually don't care whether it is CRM or ERP, because we will be talking about separate applications for some specific purposes, like customers, contacts, documents, mail, and so on. And these applications are basic building blocks of each Hubleto project. So if you will be building any kind of project for any kind of company, you will be basically working inside the apps. And you can use the apps that are already created. And these can be either a community or external apps, or you can create your custom apps, which is the third bullet here, what you can see. And these custom apps are allocated only in your project. And basically during these lessons, these webinars, we will be creating our custom apps, or we will be learning how to do them. And this will also give us an insight how the community and external apps work. So you can see that we have three types of applications: community, external, custom, where the community apps are bundled in the project, in the Hubleto project by default. You can see there are lots of them already. Then the external apps can be reused because they are published as GitHub repositories. And then custom apps are those which are located in your projects folder and are published only with your project, unless you copy and paste them. So these were the apps as the basic blocks. Then the second thing we will be talking about throughout the all lessons and all webinar is how to build up the front end of the whole project. And for that, we are using the Hubleto UI framework, which is free to use. It's available on NPM package manager, and it is a full-featured React-based UI framework focusing on data management features, which means that there are front-end components like tables, forms, inputs, previews, or some other miscellaneous UI components, like you can see, for example, at the bottom side of this screen. This is a sample of the workflow input, so to say. This is an input which with which you can specify at which stage of the workflow process does some entity or record is currently is there. And this UI can be created by simple command or simple piece of code in your application. Or on the right side, you can see a snapshot of data grid having lots of filtering features, highlighting features, and so on. And these things are built into the Hubleto UI framework. Then another topic to be covered in during all the lessons which are to come during this webinar are built-in system-level tools and features to make development easier, faster, and more streamlined. which means that the Hubleto code base, if you will simply take a look at the GitHub or just download, you in the code base of Hubleto, you will see a lot of things built in and prepared to be used by you as a developer. And this will make your development really faster and prototyping really fast, and building the custom applications and custom processes and workflows really easy. And these features, you can see them mentioned here, but I didn't mention all of them because there are really lots of these features. But just to mention some of them: settings and platform configuration, management of these settings. Then there is a user management and permission management tied to users. Also the app management, which I will be talking about in next slide. Integration with the third-party libraries. Any kind of library which can be downloaded by Composer can be used in Hubleto project. Then there is a CLI agent to streamline or to automate some development processes. Then you can benefit from having the global full text search, where your app just simply sticks or registers into the search, and it will appear during the search. The whole framework of Hubleto is ready to use or is prepared for multi-language applications. So you just create dictionaries, and by using the translate method, your app will get will be multi-language. There are some integrations with AI and large language models, or maybe calendars, emails, and PDFs, and many other things there which are not mentioned here. Okay, then the last thing I wanted to mention here is a development fundamental, last topic that I'm quite sure that we will be talking about in the next sessions, is or are the software design patterns for both backend and frontend, to unify the conventions and code base and to speed up the learning curve of any developer. So if you would take a look at the code, you would see that there are lots of similar design patterns or design patterns very widely used. So just by learning or reading the code, you are able to learn a lot of principles that are built inside into the Hubleto framework. So for the backend part, it could be, for example, models, views, controllers, routing, migrations, event listeners, callbacks, schedule jobs, dependency injections, API integrations, and so on. And for the front-end part, it could be utilization of the React UI or pre-configured compilation for the JavaScript and CSS, and also the themes for the CSS. So in the future, you will see that customizing the CSS themes or the look and style of Hubleto is very easy. And here you can see few examples and from the backend side of development, how the code does look like. Okay, so I've just selected a few of them just for you to get a feeling that it is really easy to understand, really intuitive. For example, registering the application to be available in a global full text search is just one line of code, calling the method called addSearchSwitch, or creating the routes for your controllers and views. It's also very simple. You can read just like this route through get, and then you have some regular expression for the route, and then the controller which handles this route. Or you can see the integration with the calendar. For example, if your application handles some calendar events and you want them to be visible in the global calendar of Hubleto, it's as easy as you can see here on the screen. And there are many other software patterns like this, which are really easy to understand and to use. The same for for the front end, where you can see, for example, rendering the view of the form is quite straightforward. So you have a tab in the form where you can see that, for example, in this example on the left side, there are 5 inputs built into the design of the form, like just by calling the method called input wrapper. Or there could be a customization of the API calls from front end to back end, which is the central bottom part, the method called get endpoint params, which serves as a central point to build up all the parameters of any request to the backend, which also makes the development of custom situations very easy and very straightforward. And also the code is very easily to be understood by anybody. Okay, so these were the examples of topics, or the list of topics that we will be covering during the sessions, and also some practical examples of the code for both for the backend and the front end. So stay with us during the next sessions to learn more details, to dive deep into Hubleto programming. And now I'd like to say a few words about what applications are available actually here in Hubleto, and what is the app manager and how does it look like. So this is just a series of small screenshots from running a development environment of Hubleto on my local machine, where you can see how many applications, community applications, are already prepared or ready to be used. All these applications are ready for you. Just download and install Hubleto and benefit from having them instantly at your disposal. And this is how it looks like. You can see the left sidebar, all the applications mentioned. So the screenshots from the previous slide was basically the sidebar of my development environment. And here I wanted to show you the app manager, which is both the application and also some classes inside the backend, inside the Hubleto framework, to manage what applications are installed. First, what applications are available, and you can have different repositories of applications. First of all, there is a repository of community applications, but then you can have unlimited number of different repositories for external applications. So the app manager is a sort of a helper or tool or framework to find the available apps, and then to manage the apps that are installed. And you can see that you can install any other app just by clicking of the button, or you can disable the app, or back then you can enable the app. And all these things, you can do them easily also from the command line interface when developing your solution. So this is how the app manager looks like. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is Hubleto development ecosystem. This is something what we are creating for the developers to simplify and streamline their development process. We want Hubleto to be easily acceptable and easily understandable, and to be as intuitive as possible for all software developers. And for that, we are creating the development ecosystem, which currently contains 3 parts. The first one is the developer guide, which you may already know. It is available at the link you can see in blue box. Then there is a Dev Academy, which is currently now running the second lesson, and we are going to improve them over time. And there is something quite new, which we call Development Console or Dev Console, which is available on the link you can see in the green box. To access it, you need your developer account, which is basically your email and password. And once inside the console, you are able to create your dev accounts, which means that we create for you a hosting for development of Hubleto solutions or projects. And we maintain these hosting. So you don't have to take care, or you don't have to spend your time on server management or server administration things. We do this for you. And what is important, and I think you will like it, is that it is free. So feel free to start with the QR code on the right side and register yourself as Hubleto developer. It's free. And to all registered Hubleto developers, we will create a hosting, first of all, a developer account based on your email, and then hosting for you to try Hubleto without any server administration hassle. So how does it work? Once you get a Hubleto developer account, you will be notified by an email message that your account is ready, and then you can access the account via SSH, for example, your PuTTY, or any other client which is capable of handling the SSH protocol. And you can publish your CRM within minutes, or changes you can publish within minutes. You don't need to do anything with the development environment on your local computer. All files can be stored on the dev hosting, which really significantly simplifies the work how you publish or manage the prototyping of your CRM or your ERP solutions. So Hubleto Dev account is something which is created in the Dev Console, done by us, but later on you will be able to manage it. You don't need no setup for servers, and you can start development immediately. It is very, very good, very efficient for low-code rapid prototyping. So if you have any idea of the business application that, for example, you want to develop or your customer wants to see how it works, it's really easy to create a developer account and to create an app there and to model the data structures and create the controllers and views with data grids and forms. This is very, very fast, can be done, and then the prototype can be used as a demo for your commercial for your project. So your customer will be able to access your prototype and do the testing and do the review, and you will be able to adapt the prototype based on the customer's needs almost immediately. And this is the example of the working environment actually on my computer, which is based on the VS Code IDE and the extension which is called Remote SSH. With these two things and the setup, which took me like 10 or 15 minutes, I was able to create an account on the dev hosting and to create an app called Car Rental. And I have found this, or once I logged into Hubleto user interface on that dev hosting, I have seen the Car Rental app created from the VS Code. I could see that almost immediately, and I also could see the source code of the Car Rental app, and all these things, all these files, all the source code has been stored on the dev hosting. I didn't have any file stored on my computer. And it really took me like 10 or 15 minutes to set up all this. Before testing this, what I'm presenting here, I even did not have the remote SSH extension installed in the VS Code. So even with installing of this extension, and creating the full environment took me like 10 or a few minutes, or 15 minutes. So I wanted to say here that it really works. It's very efficient, very easy to set up, and you don't need to spend your time with server management. You just focus on development of business applications, which is, I think, the topic you want to work with, you want to focus on. So from now on, there are basically two options how you can do your development of your custom Hubleto. The first option is quite obvious, local development with Composer that we have shown in our last lesson. So Composer create project, blah blah blah. And the second option is really new, from my perspective, really revolutionary. It's a dev hosting with a remote SSH workspace where you don't have any file on your computer, no server hassle. You just connect and focus on development and benefit from all the ecosystem and code base, which is provided for you completely for free. So thank you very much. I think this is the last slide. Let me check. Yes, this is the last slide. Stay tuned. Style with the QR code. You see on the left side. Scan it. Register yourself as Hubleto developer. Follow us and start us and like us on all social networks, and enjoy development with Hubleto. Thank you for your attention, and I'm ready to answer your questions after the second presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dusan. That was really enlightening. Love all the neat info about the dev hosting. Quick check into the chat. Okay, we can move forwards with your Eric presentation. So Eric, feel free to start your sharing of the screen and let's hear it from you.
Let me share my screen.
Could you please?
Be visible right now?
Yes, you can, but feel free to speak a little bit louder. Cannot hear you really well.
Hi, hello. So let me reintroduce myself. My name is Eric, and I've been developing with Hubleto for quite some time now. I specialize on developing custom applications within the ecosystem, and today I will take you guys through the process of what a custom application actually consists of, and some of the core concepts that make a Hubleto application what it is. So first, I would like to just a quick segue from lesson 1 to the lesson which we are having right now. In lesson 1, we introduced Hubleto as an open source business application hub, but today we'll focus on the main features that you will be getting in contact with every single day while using the Hubleto system. The key idea is to learn these concepts once and then replicate and use them all over and all across the Hubleto ecosystem, especially things that repeat themselves and appear repeatedly, such as filtering, sorting, searching, and how a table works, and a record form. Next, so for my first demo, let me just get into my local version of Hubleto and show you guys what it consists of. So we're located within a local copy of Hubleto. As you can see to the left, these are the apps Dusan was talking about. There are multiple already pre-made, ready to work with apps that we won't get into right now into the detail, but feel free to take a deep dive there yourself. Let me first start off with the first app, which is customers. As you can see, this is the preview of the app, which you will be seeing most of the time, right? So here is our table. The table shows us a preview of the records that are saved within this application. The table allows us to sort using the clicking on the name of the column, sort ascending or descending. It allows us to do a search within the application, so we can search for a specific record, and it will simply show us the record, or we can search for the record by the column. So, and this also shows us the record, but only contained within the column. To the left of the table is a crucial button. It allows you to add a record to the table, but we will get to how a record form looks and what it does in a minute. Right now, let me take you through these three dots that right here that pack quite a few features. So show and hide filters. These are filters that are to the left of the table. These filters are fully customizable and quite easy to implement in your custom application, and we will take a look at how that's done. But essentially, these are filters that allow you to filter out the information in the table using just a few selectors or buttons or whatever you may want. Under that is an option to show the table as a plain table. This saves you some space, but also takes away all the searching or sorting functionality. It's just a cleaner view, cleaner and simpler view. Under that, there is an option to export the entire data from this app to CSV or to import from CSV. Then there is the option to add columns, so columns that are not visible yet, but can be chosen to be visible on this preview. And below that is a neat feature named Edit Mode. When clicking Edit Mode, you can see a pencil appear right next to a record, and clicking this pencil allows us to simply alter the record's value. So we can just add a few characters in here, and this permanently alters the record. So, as I talked about the filters for the sidebar, these filters are quite easily customizable. They are mainly code-driven, so no front end is needed to be custom written for this. They are described in the model of your custom app, in the describe table method. We add these filters to the table description, and Hubleto basically takes care of it from there. Hubleto renders the UI to the left of the table by itself. Next, let's take a look at actually looking at the details of a record and editing it further. So when we click on a record from this preview, we can see a record detail pop up. This is called a record form, and there are quite a few features. So let me just skim through them real quick. Starting from the top, if we alter the record, a save button pops up, which allows us to save the record state. Right to the right of it, there is a full screen button, which allows us to maximize the record form, and a close button. Moving down, there are custom tabs. These tabs show us related information that is available to us, closely tied to the record. So right now we are looking at this customer, and if we click over, this is calendar, and these are appointments or calendar inserts specifically of this customer. So we can see that. Moving down, you can see there is a lot of inputs and stuff like tags, stuff like notes, There is, for example, who owns this record, who can manage it, and all sorts of stuff that will show you how to customize, add in future webinars. But for now, this is how a form record looks of a customer's app. Next, I would like to show you quite a neat feature which Dusan already talked about, which is a workflow. So a workflow is this neat little thing right under the tabs, and it basically shows us the progress of a task or a campaign of all your custom app, and it's basically there for you to keep track of the current state of whatever you're working on. So we know that if your business grows in size, it can be quite demanding to keep track of multiple tasks, right? So this is a neat little UI tool that helps you keep track of the current state the task is in, and allows your employees or people working with you using Hubleto ecosystem to quickly change the state or progress of a task they're working on. So to give you a quick showcase of how this actually works, to add this sort of workflow tracker to your custom app, it is pretty simple. First, what you want to do is in your custom application to add, register this workflow. This tells Hubleto that your custom application can use this workflow functionality. This snippet is from the campaign app exactly, but it should look similar within your custom app. Second, after that, you need to add two fields to your model of your custom app. First, the ID of the workflow. This basically stores which workflow the record belongs to. And then the second field, the ID workflow steps. This takes track and takes it into account and saves the current step or the phase of the workflow, so it's persistent across multiple sessions and so on. And third, right after that, on the record creation, so we assigned the default workflow and the first step, the first starting step. So right here you can see on after create method, we assign the default workflow. So moving on. Another neat feature which I want to talk about is the Hubleto global search. So starting even from the home screen, you can take in advantage the global search of Hubleto. You can either click to the top left or press Ctrl and K keys on your keyboard, which activates this search. This full text search allows you to fully search across records across all the apps within your Hubleto instance. So, for example, I could search for our customer, and he will show up. This is the customer record, and you can see it is located within the customer's app. And simply clicking that will redirect us to the customer's app and the record itself. There are quite a few functionalities built into the search, global search. So, for example, you can use the greater than symbol, and this greater than symbol allows you to quickly swap into a existing application of your choosing. So, as you can see here, we have listed all our apps. So I can simply press the calendar app, press enter, and it will simply redirect me to the calendar. After that, we have a switch functionality. So pressing the slash button and then a custom configured character after that, which represents the app. So for example, the C character lets us search through all the records within that app. So this is a neat functionality if we want to right from the home screen search for a specific record from an app. This can be utilized to let's say, look for an employee or a contact of yours, and you know where in which app it's registered, but you want to get to it quickly. So we can see clicking that also redirects us to our customer. To register a switch like this, it is actually quite straightforward. So let me show you how that's done. To register a switch, you first need to add the line of code, which Dusan already mentioned, in your app's loader. It's called add search switch, and the character of by which it will be recognized as the app, and then the app itself. After you do that, Hubleto knows that this app can handle customer search and should handle customer search, and the app's search method after that will return matching records with labels, descriptions, links, so on, whatever you desire, back to the record detail. So as you saw, simply adding this line of code adds your custom app into the global search functionality. Moving on, a feature of which we are proud of is an AI assistant. We named him Hubi after Hubleto. This AI assistant allows you or your employees or people working within your Hubleto instance to quickly utilize AI features such as summaries, to draft emails, to figure out how an app is supposed to work, or how to develop an app. This AI also takes into account our user guide and our developer guide. So it is up to date with the latest Hubleto information and documentation. So quickly taking a look at, you can find this AI tool feature by clicking either at the robot or by another path, for which I will show you later. So simply right now, clicking at the robot icon takes us to the AI assistant. As you can see, this is the UI. Right now there are two modes. First, there is the user mode, which has been trained on the user documentation and can answer you all user-related questions. So you can ask a general question of how am I supposed to add a contact to a customer, right? Or a developer mode, which has been trained on developer documentation and has up-to-date latest information on how to develop a custom app. This can be a nice feature for you if you're feeling lost, or if you're running into an error and have no idea of how to move forward, or if you're simply need help kickstarting an app with a functionality and you have no idea how to move forward. To use AI Assistant, you need to first input your API key within the settings app. As you can see, clicking the settings app, here we have an AI Assistant setting. Clicking this setting takes us to this view. And basically, these are the fields you need to fill out to take advantage of this app. First is your Gemini API key. As of now, we are only supporting Gemini as an API provider, but we plan on expanding the selection in the future. This is a great starting point for you if you don't plan on actually buying an API key or buying a plan, as Google offers a free API key within a limited size of limits, but it is actually quite nice. As you can see with AI models here section, it allows us to use Gemini 2.5 Flash and Gemini 3 Flash, which are not the newest and state-of-the-art models, but for our purposes and for your purposes, we presume it should be enough, as these are not extensive operations. After you set your API key and choose the model you're choosing, you should select the context sensitivity level. So when clicking on this, you can see there are two options. This is actually really important because the first option restricts the AI to only working with the documentation it was provided with, and nothing else, right? So it has no knowledge, no extensive knowledge of your records, of your inputs, of your personal information, or any information for that matter that you have inserted into any or Hubleto application. So this is great for asking general questions, or if you have privacy concerns with the AI provider you have set. The second option is a detailed data section, and what selecting the section does is it sends record information to AI. So selecting this allows us to essentially, while being on any app, utilize the magic wand button, which is located at the bottom left of the record. Clicking this magic wand button will redirect you to the AI Assistant app. But as you can see, another UI pop-up in here, basically telling us that right now the AI is working with the context of customer number 12, and we can ask, what's this customer's name, right? And as you can see, the AI tells us the exact customer's name, and after we can see exactly what the data is that the AI got to work with, right? So it's company, the tax ID, the name, and so on. So these are the informations that were provided to the AI. This can be quite useful, for example, if you have a campaign that you're working with, right? So let's say you want to send out newsletter subscriptions to your customers, right? And you don't have the email template, or you're not that good at writing emails. You can simply choose the campaign, select the magic wand button, which will once again redirect you to the AI assistant, but now it includes the detailed record information of the campaign, and we can simply ask the AI to, can you generate me an email for this campaign, right? So doing this, the AI will receive structured, JSON structured, detailed information of the record, and should return an email that's directly tailored to the campaign of which we jumped in here from. So as you can see, don't miss out, get our latest updates directly in your inbox. And here we can see a nice structured newsletter email. So why this matters for developers, as I showed these core features and sort of an overview of the how a table preview and a record works. I decided to show these concepts mainly because this is the UI that's consistent across all of the apps, or most of the apps built in Hubleto, and these are the core concepts that are available to you and can be easily reused, such as the tables, the forms, the inputs. This also includes all the stuff I didn't get to for time's sake, but we have already pre-made user management for you. Roles, you can assign roles to a bunch of employees. So let me quickly jump into Hubleto once again and show you to the bottom of a record detail, there is a share button, and you can share this exact record with any number of people utilizing the Hubleto instance and select their role. Right now, their access to this record is based on the ownership, but you can set them to read only. You can set them to read and modify, so which gives them full access to this record, right? This record management system is already fully done, pre-made, and ready to use once you set up Hubleto instance on locally or utilize our hosting, which Tushan already talked about. As you saw, we have a huge selection of apps that are readily used and can be extended or add. We have a really nice path for you forward of building a custom app. And if you ever feel lost or anything, just ask Hubie, right? So to recapitulate, what we learned about how Hubleto works, the core concepts. Hubleto is modular, so easy for you to customize, fully customize, as it's open source. You can also contribute to our GitHub, right, and create issues or suggestions or bug fixes. Even if you encounter a bug, feel free to fix it and notify us. It is a business-focused ERP, but can be used widely, no matter your needs. We have a full package of apps that are ready to be used. We have global search that makes navigations extremely fast, and a brand new AI feature that allows you to take advantage the latest UI tools and possibilities. And that's it from me now.
Great.
Thank
It
you.
was great. From you, Eric, a lot of interesting information. So now it's time for me to return to my presentation, and just let me check where it is. I believe it should be here. Okay. Okay, so thank you for all the speakers today, and I'm not saying closing remarks, but just little recap of my own. So a little bit of homework for you, if you wish. Your task for today, if I believe it is great if you will install Hubleto on your local device. If you do not know how to do it, a little bit of hint for you, check our previous recording where we are discussing this. Also, if you were watching today, I believe that you will be able to do it as that. And so let's get practical. Your time to experiment with Hubleto starts right now. And last but not least, it's time for our Q&A session. So feel free to write down your questions if you have not done it already. And I will be checking the chat for notifications and questions and remarks and notes and anything in between. So let's hear it and read it. If you have something, feel free to ask us, and we are here to answer you and help you. Okay, there might be some delay in the writing, so let's wait a little bit more for the questions. I believe that surely there will be something interesting coming. Okay, there is something interesting from Michal, I believe. Does Hubleto currently only support Google Gemini models, or can, for example, Claude Opus be used as well? Good questions for developers. Feel free to ask.
Right, so I feel like I can answer this. So as I've shown, as of right now, the AI feature that's built into Hubleto, also named Hubi, only supports Google Gemini models, as we feel like it's the easiest to get an API key and get you started from them. And also from our experience, they offer you quite a generous amount of API limits for free. So mostly everyone has a Google account these days, and it's pretty easy to access a API key. Simply go to aistudio.com and grab yourself a fresh API key, which you can then insert into Hubleto and choose a model of your choosing. We recommend the 2.5 Flash, the limits for them are quite a bit more extensive, and it is a bit less used. So this also depends on the day when you're using the API. If you're a free user, you can find yourself running into errors and limits if you're using it in, let's say, past 8 p.m. of our time. This is due to the Google servers being under load. So if you find any errors or any limits, simply swap the model to a lesser model, or even try the higher model. But this should basically resolve any issues you might be having with the API.
Okay, there's a follow-up question regarding Google Gemini. It is possible to also use the latest Gemini 3.5 Pro or some other paid model?
Right. So as of right now, it is not available for one simple reason. During our testing, we found this to be quite extensive when it comes to taking up resources. And from our testing, it basically yielded similar results to simply using the easier or slower models. So we found it completely unnecessary to use these more complex models. And basically, when feeding the entire documentation to this model, you can find yourself using up 15 to 20% of the entire context of the model just by simply asking a simple hi question or simple question of how to use a customer app, right? So due to the context being expensive and limited, we chose to simply allow a section of simple, easy to use and cheap models that are also available on the free API tier.
Okay, great for the answer. Also, another question is here: are all apps customizable in the Hubleto? Question by Ricard.
I think I can answer this. Basically, yes. The best way is not to touch the community apps and to change the code base, even if it's your single island project. But the best way is to create an app which is extending data models of existing apps, or maybe using the dependency injection. You may change the functionality completely. So short answer, yes, all applications are customizable. The longer answer is do not touch the existing code, but do it more smartly, just by extending the functionality in your app, maybe using dependency injection or extending the data models based on your needs.
That sounds reasonable. Thank you for the answer. Another question, let me check it. Do you plan to add new features to Hubleto? For example, like apps and modules?
Yes, we plan to add new features to Hubleto forever.
That's a great answer. Hope you like it. Okay, so feel free to write any question if you like. Let's wait a little bit more. There was already a few questions, but I believe there will be coming soon another. So let's wait a little bit more. In the meantime, feel free to connect with us through the GitHub, Reddit, or follow us on LinkedIn. And also do not forget about the next lesson, which will be very interesting: business apps, backend development. As already mentioned, it will be in 2 weeks, Wednesday, 10th of June. Okay, let's check the live chat. Nothing new here there. So in the meantime, I would like to promote another new feature. That is, besides these developers webinars, we will be having also Biz Meetup, which will be discussion on the more of the business side of how to use it, how to use Hubleto and make some sort of partnership and make business with Hubleto. Feel free to join us. It is next week on June the 3rd. Also in the afternoon, similar date and time like this. And this session will be a little bit shorter, around 50-60 minutes. And as you can see, it was my face featuring, so I will be one of the speakers. So fingers crossed for nice talking and discussion. So feel free to join us on there as well. So don't forget, June the 3rd. Okay, let me check the live chat once more. Okay, we are still waiting for the questions, so don't forget to spread the word and around about webinars and try Hubleto for yourself. Okay, a little bit more. There might be some delay in writing, so let's wait just a few more minutes or a minute or two. So it is important to attend the next webinar, which will be in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time. Same time and same place. And also do not forget that we'll be sending you the recording, and you can also check it once again on the YouTube as well. So you can always get back to it. Okay, it looks like that there will be no more questions, it looks like. Okay. Okay, so I believe it is time to slowly but steadily cut this webinar to the end. Okay, so thank you, Dushan, and thank you, Eric, for your input today. It was great to hear from you. A lot of interesting information. And I hope everyone was enjoying it today. And we are happy to be hearing and seeing each other in 2 weeks' time. So feel free to join us, and also feel free to join our Hubleto Biz meeting, which will be next week. So keep in contact through our LinkedIn, Reddit, or GitHub, or other social medias, and we will be seeing you in 2 weeks' time. So, okay, it's time to say goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed it today.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for attending.